Good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. Get yourself a coffee. We're up here in the reloading room. I had a request video from 45. He wanted me to do a simple video on setting up a set of dies. So I've made this into two parts. One would be part two is setting up the resizing die and decapping die. Now this morning, this is my second attempt at setting up with the bullet seating die. What I mean by second attempt is I'm trying to it was more complicated, and when I made my first video, it was more complicated than it needed to be. Let's just put it at that. So I'm going to take this all apart. So we're going to start from scratch. This is the bullet seating piece of it. This is the base. I've loosened everything up. So now I'm just going to turn this into the die. I will put this back in, but only for thread. It doesn't matter. And once you set this up for a particular bullet, you don't have to set it up again. It's a done deal. You can get your numbers all out of a reloading manual. I will not have a reloading room that I do not have the manuals. The reason for that is this reloading room and my lifestyle is 100% self-reliant. What that means is if your computers go down or the government takes away your ability to look things up on the internet, like they have in a lot of shooting stuff, I know we got sites out there that brings us in, but if you got a manual, you've got every caliber that's out there and all kinds of recipes. So anyways, when you're in this book, the number that you're looking for is right there. Cartridge overall length, which this would be like a factory cartridge overall length. This one is 2.250. Now I've gone in, I'm not going to get in it in this video, but I set my bullets, mine for this particular rifle. What am I doing my other book? For this particular rifle, my cartridge overall length, and it's a whole other subject all on its own, but the cartridge overall length for what I'll be setting up for is 2.342. That is just touching the lands, the rifling of the rifle, and that's how I do mine. But like I said, that's a whole nother topic all by itself. Today we're just going to be working on setting up the die and I'm just showing you what my number is going to be. But you can get yours right out of the book for any cartridge at all. First step, take a case. Make sure that you ream out the inside. Clean up the burrs because you're going to put a bullet in this in a moment. So you put your case in there. This is step number one. Put your case in there. This is a very simple process. You slide this up as far as it'll go. And you screw this all the way down. You screw it down until you just feel it touch the case. And it's obvious, you can tell. Okay, right there. Right there, it is just touching the case. Now we're going to back it off one full turn. Now how you can accomplish that so you know exactly what you're doing is you can put a pencil mark right here on your die, back it off one full turn right there. Bring your ring down. You don't need to tighten up your ring yet, but at least bring it down. The reason that you back it off is because you don't want to set the crimp at this point. So now we're going to take out a bullet. The bullets that I'm using today, this is a .22 caliber bullet. put out by Hornady. It's 55 grain V/Max 22716. Put that in, raise it up. Now you screw this down until you feel that bullet. Lift up just a little bit. You want to get the bullet started. Well, need just a little bit more. Drop my bullet down in the primer tray. We'll dump them out. Alright, so I'm going to screw this in just a little bit, just enough to get it started. I want to at least get it started. There we go. Still could go in a little more, I guess. Alright, so the bullet started. You can see it sticking out there a country mile. And what we need to do is get yourself a set of calipers. You don't need these. I use them. I like them. I think they do a much better job than just a straight set of calipers. I would try to get, and these don't cost that much. Try to get yourself a set of stainless steel calipers with or without this tool that's on here. But because of this, we have to zero it out. So now it's at 0. And we want to come, like I said, I'm coming down to 2.342. So as you can see, I'm at 2.477, a long ways from where I need to be. So now it's just a matter of coming down a little bit at a time, setting the bullet, taking it out, looking at it. You can measure it again at this point. I don't need to because I know I got to go quite a ways further. Still got to go some more. What we're doing now is we're setting the height of that bullet. I'm getting close. I'm at 2.359. So now you want to just take it in really small increments. $52, got to come down a little bit more. You know, if I'm at 40, that's okay too. 45. You following that? 45? All I'm doing now is setting the bullet cedar up on the top. 41. That's close enough. Okay, so now I've got my bullet height. It's at 3.342. That's what I want. If you were following the factory one, like I said, it would be, you look in the book for the particular bullet that you're using. This one would be, was it 2 point? The factory would have been 2.250. Okay, so we've got the height of our bullet now. We've played with the cedar part of it. Now this bullet is 2.342. So now what you want to do, we still haven't crimped it, so now what we need to do, remember we backed this off one full turn. Now the easiest way to stay out of trouble now is to take this piece right out. Take this right out, and that way you know you're not going to bump it, because you've got this bullet exactly at the height that you want it. Can leave that in. So we're going to back off our lock ring. We're going to slide this back up into the die, And now we're going to turn this down until we feel it touch the case. All right, so it's touching the case right there. Okay, right there, I'm up against the case now. What I mean by that is I am up against this piece right here. Here's the top of the bullet. My bullet seat is not touching that. But you see right here, the top of the case, that's where that's the part that does the crimping. So now I've screwed this back down so it just touches the top of the case. You can, now what I do, I like between a quarter of a turn and a half a turn. That's what's, well, when we turn this down, right now it's touching the case. Like I said earlier, it's touching the very top of the case, not the bullet. So if we turn this down another quarter of a turn to a half a turn, then you will be crimping the bullet. So push that back up all the way, and you'll feel it crimp the bullet. You don't want a hard crimp most of the time. Your book will tell you. Okay, so we got our crimp. So now, by having this down, bullet in, it's locked into place. Now you can set your lock ring. I'm going to back it off just so I can get to the... Well, guess I won't right now. Okay, this part is set. The crimp is set. So now, because of that bullet, we know the bullet is set where we want. Now we can push the bullet seater all the way in until you feel it touch the bullet. See, that touched the bullet. Now your bullet seater is set. Your crimp is set. You can set the lock nut on the seater part of it. Pull this back out. Double check your measurement. Make sure nothing is moved. And there we are. 2.342. Which is exactly what we want. Now what you want to do is take this case, go to your rifle, put it in your rifle, and make sure it fits, make sure it works. And after that, then you can, now you never have to touch this again, as long as you're using the same bullet that you adjusted things. So once you get a load that works for your gun, you don't need to swap around and trade around for different bullets once you get a load that works. I have an H&R. I'll show you some targets on here just real quick. This is why we reload. This right here was back in 09. This is a $150 H&R single shot rifle at 100 yards. Center to center. Center to center is just over a ½ an inch. That's where this is why we reload. This is the that's a $150 gun, a single shot H&R, not even a high-end gun. That by reloading we can make that thing hit around a ½ an inch at 100 yards. So that's what I mean by playing with loads, working loads up. Everybody makes fun of the FUD guns. Well, the FUD gun uses a 1-inch bullseye to test our loads. When I go to the shooting range nowadays, the people out there with the modern rifles, they're using a 9-inch pie plate. So laugh all you want at the FUD guns. We know who's doing the real shooting. All right, 45. I hope that makes it easy for you. I know this video is a little bit long, but that's what it's going to take to get it done. So, alrighty, I will see you next week.